Hey, sixth grade. Let's look a little bit at math, lesson 134. It is due on Friday. Give you a few of the answers, see if you're doing it correctly. And then we will look at lesson 135, which is due on Monday. So let's just look at a few of 134. I'll give you the answers, so have your assignment out for lesson 134. And let's just make sure that we're doing this correctly. Converting the metric measures, you're simply moving decimal points, right? You have that kilo, hecto, deca, gram, deci, centi, milli. If you start at centi, if you start at the right and move left, that's the way your decimal point moves, however many places you're moving. So you're just moving decimal point back and forth, adding zeros. Number one, the answer is 25 hectograms, Hg. Number two, 3.6 centigrams. Number three, 4 million milligrams. Number four, 0.48 kilograms. Number five, 580,000 milligrams. And number six, 0.000009. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. 0.000009 kilograms. Part B, write the metric prefix for each number. This is the prefix, not the abbreviation. All right, so just the prefix. So number 7 is kilo, 8 deca, 9 hecto, 10 centi, 11 milli, and 12 deci. 13, 14. So you have this proportion. 14 is 14% of 100. Actually, yes, 14. 14 is 14% of 100. That should be 14 over 100 equals 14 over 100. So there you're supposed to write the proportion out for the words, for the numbers in the words. And number 16. You should have this written out. The number 10 is 50% of 20. You can write the numbers there. You don't have to write the numbers out in the words, but 10 is 50% of 20. And then you use the information there to answer 17 through 20, and you just look, just pay attention to the information there. Number 17, I'll just give you those answers quickly, make sure you're doing it right. Number 17 is 40%. Number 18 is 125. 125 chairs would be. Number 19, you should label that. Number 19 is 16 2/3%, and number 20 is 100%. All right, so that's just a few there of lesson 134. Let's look at 135. Lesson 135 is on interest. Interest, did you ever think about how do banks make money? So banks, have all this money, but it's not their money actually. You put your money in the bank, that is your money, okay? A bank is allowed to use it, but how does a bank actually make money? Well, anytime you borrow money from a bank or a loan company of any kind, you pay interest on it. You pay to use their money. All right, that's their services. Giving money is the service of a bank, and so you pay them to borrow money from them. You borrow $50,000, there's going to be an interest rate. Interest is the amount paid, money paid for a loan. Money paid for money borrowed. The rate is what percent your interest is. So there's going to be a certain percent of the loan that you need to pay as interest for what the principal is the actual amount borrowed. All right, so let's say that we are borrowing $19,000. So principal, to find the amount of interest you paid, here's the formula. PRT, principal times rate times time. So we are borrowing, what did I say, $19,000. That's the principal. Principal equals $19,000. All right? We are going to pay an interest rate of 3%. So rate equals 3%. And the time we have 4 years to pay it back. All right? 4 years. So to see how much interest you're paying on this money, see how much you're paying to borrow this amount of money for 4 years at 3% interest, you simply go principal times rate times time. You can do this in any order that you want to, all right? But there's going to be a decimal point. What is the decimal for 3%? Alex. 3% looks like what is a decimal? And you have to get this right or you'll have your answer right. 3%, 3 over 100 is what? 0.03, right. Thank you. All right, 0.03. So that's the number you're multiplying. You don't just multiply 3, and you don't just multiply 0.3. It's 0.03 for a single digit percent. It's 0.0. Now you're ready to multiply. All right. These zeros, I would either stick these zeros out the side like this, 4 years times, or like this, sorry. All you're doing is 19,000 times 4. Okay, you're going to have 3 zeros at the end of that. So 19 times 4, 9 times 4 is 36, 76. So now you have 76,000. If you want to leave these zeros off until you're done multiplying, but then you remember that you have to multiply by 1,000. So you can do the same thing here. So you have 0.03, how about 76, sorry. Now we're at 76,000. 76,000 times 0.03. Okay? You're going to have your zeros. 0, 0, 0. Just multiply by 3. You don't worry about the 0. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 7, 21. 22. Okay, this is just going to be zeros if you do that. Now, put your decimal point at the right place. 2 places in. 2 places in. Right here. So your interest amount is $2,280. $2,280. That is how much you're paying the bank or the loan company or whoever you're borrowing it from to borrow $19,000 at 4 years for 3% interest. Simply multiply, 3-step multiply, 19,000 times 4 times 0.03. So carefully, watch those zeros, watch where your decimal point goes, okay? There's a lot of stuff you need to do exactly right here. If you miss one step, if you're one number off, your entire answer, of course, is going to be wrong, unfortunately. There are certain things that you may have to borrow on, okay? And there are some things that are better investments than others. A house is a fairly good investment, okay? So I have a certain amount borrowed for 15 years at 5% interest or something like that, okay? And so I will have to pay interest on that amount borrowed for 15 years on the house that we're living in. But that's a fairly good investment because even after those 15 years, I can turn around and sell the house for as much or more than what I paid for it, okay? So that's not a bad investment. Let me show you a bad investment. And I do this every time with my students just so that they can see this, just so that you understand what's going on here. So let's buy us a new truck. All right? Let's buy us a new truck for $60,000. I don't even know the prices of brand new pickups. I know that you can pay more than that, but let's go with $60,000. New pickup. So your principal, $60,000. The rate is cars. I'm not sure what car loans are, but car loans can be pretty high, okay? The rates on car loans can be pretty high, so let's just make it fairly high just so that you can see what's going on here, because this would not be horribly unusual for a lot of people borrowing money. A lot of people borrow money on cars, and they're making payments on cars basically the rest of their lives. And I will show you why. $60,000 at 12% interest. What's the decimal for 12%, Sierra? Yes, 0.12. Okay, so this is the number you're working with. 0.12 is the same as 12%. And let's make it a time. This is a fairly big loan, so it's going to take a while. Time of 15 years. 15 years. All right, I am going to erase this over here. Now that you have that on video, you can check it out. If you need to refresh yourself on what it is so that we can do the math over here. Now you can be doing math on a piece of paper. And let's figure out how much you're going to pay. So this is a brand new truck. You buy it brand new, you drive it off the lot. It's brand spanking new, right? $60,000 at 12% for 15 years. Again, PRT, principal times rate times time. Any order, let's just do it the same way we did the last time. 15 years, that's your time, times 60,000. Right? So we have 0, 0, 0, 0, 30, 90, 6. So what do we got there? 900,000. Now we got 900,000 times 0.12. So you have 0.12 times 900, 1, 2, 3, right? Take those zeros down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 18, 10, 2 places. Oh, that can't be. What? That can be actually. Let me make sure. Look at what's happening. Let me check these numbers. This always messes me up because of how much it actually is. So 60,000 times 0.12 times 15. $108,000. $108,000 of interest. That is just the interest, okay? You have also paid $60,000. So at the end of 15 years, if you make your monthly payments on schedule, you will have paid, what's 108 plus 60? $168,000. For a new pickup whose price was $60,000. $168,000. It's making payments for 15 years. Now what's the problem at this point? Your brand new truck is now how old? Your brand new truck is now 15 years old. You have just shelled out $168,000. All right? This is just the interest. This is just the interest. This is not the $60,000. Okay? This is just how much you paid to borrow $60,000 for that long at that rate. So it's not that you've just paid $108,000 for it. You've paid $108 plus $60,000 for it. All right? Your truck is now 15 years old, which means what? You're kind of looking around, it's time to upgrade, right? So you do the same thing again. See what's happening? And what is your pickup worth at 15 years old? A $60,000 truck, 15 years later, it's worth what? $10,000 maybe? All right? So borrowing lots of money, high percent interest on vehicles is a foolish investment. All right? And I'm just going to say that for whatever it's worth. Be careful. Now you can pay this off quicker. You can add to your payment. You can add a couple $100 to each payment, and you'll get it paid off sooner and with a lot less interest. Okay, so that's not a bad thing to do that's a good thing to do when you're making payments. On my house payments, I make $100 to a couple $100 higher payments every time, just to get it all paid off sooner, and I'll pay a lot less interest because of that. So, principal times rate times time gives you interest. Okay? Watch all the zeros. Make sure you put the decimal point at the right place. Make sure this decimal point is at the right place. 0.12, a single digit percent is 0.0, whatever. So check those out. All right, I'm going to let you go. Have a good day.